what is this production? Oh! Oh my God.
And the thing that I really appreciate about Tank is he's a dog. That kind of what he just said, you can put them earmuffs up and go at it. He kind of will assess you as well, and whatever he needs to do, he'll do it.
Everyone is buzzing about Jake Paul's reaction to the new training and sparring videos of Gervonta Tank Davis that went viral on social media. As he gets ready for his next battle, Davis appears sharper, faster, and more explosive than ever in the video, leaving supporters wondering if Tank is reaching his prime. In the lightweight class, Davis has established himself. He has never officially weighed more than 140 pounds in a professional fight, and last fought weighing between 133 and 135 pounds. Paul, on the other hand, is a natural cruiserweight who usually fights in the 200-pound area. He recently weighed that much in a battle. There are multiple weight classes involved, not simply a few pounds. Much more is involved when the margin is that large. In terms of durability, power, punch-absorbing capacity, and leverage, the heavier fighter frequently has an advantage. It becomes more about who can take a beating and still be productive than it is about skill alone.
Something else that's unfortunate is the idea that Jake Paul might actually fight Gervonta Tank Davis. This can't be real. When it came up a couple of months ago, I was like, you know what? I'm not even gonna cover this because there's no way there's no way they're really gonna do it because it makes no sense. Why would you do that for him? Outside of it, like, okay, you can look at it like an exhibition, which it will be, and we'll take a look at some of the rule set for it. But Gervonta Davis is one of, if not the best, biggest names at 135 pounds, and is an active, in his prime fighter. I don't want to hear the similar to Floyd and Logan thing, because at that point, Floyd was retired. Floyd had done all he needed to do in the sport. Tank is still in his prime, still has multiple high-level opponents that he needs to fight. And you can say, oh, you know, the Jake would be a one-off. Side quest. That's fine, but that just tells me that Tank doesn't care about being a high-level champion in the sport anymore.
Carmamel. Recently, Martin reflected on a sparring match he had with Davis when he was just 15 or 16. Although he acknowledged that he was first anxious, he claimed that the session swiftly evolved into a chess game. Timing, pace, and counterwork are more important than just power. Davis never tried to knock him out with full force, according to Moden. Rather, they engaged in a purposeful interchange of rhythm and angles. He said that he could see Davis's strength. However, they were back and forth in terms of sheer skill and speed. Martin described the encounter as enjoyable, difficult, and a pivotal point in his growth as a boxer.
I know you fought Tank early on. Yeah. What was that experience? Like replay that experience for me. Like you coming out of it. What was your thought?
Yeah, I was nervous at first. I think I was 15 at the time we sparred, so he wasn't really like trying to knock me out or nothing like that. But we was going like, he was using the speed on me. Like we was both like going speed for speed, and it was great. It was like a chess match.
Did you understand in that moment like why he is who he is?
Yeah. I seen why he's able to beat these guys. Then I also seen why I'm. So I got all this hype around me too.
In defense of Davis's choice to enter an exhibition with Jake Paul, Sean Porter contended that detractors fail to see the wider picture. For Porter, the fight is more about providing Davis and his family with financial security than it is about demonstrating his superiority in the ring. Since it's an exhibition, the primary objective is entertainment, and the dangers are constrained by established guidelines and safety precautions.
Porter highlights that fighters frequently have brief careers and need to seize chances that offer both financial gain and publicity.
According to this viewpoint, Tank Davis's acceptance of such a battle is a display for his supporters and a safeguard for his future, rather than a sellout. Porter's remarks emphasize the harmony between fighters who need to consider their lives outside of sports and purists who desire legacy.
They're trying to make it safer and, you know, all those sorts of things, but there's still this pureness to boxing that really doesn't exist in sports anymore, but it's still there with boxing. I think that's why people have such a problem with this kind of move from Tank Davis.
Is it more the heart? How do you guys feel being boxers?
Man, like once you hear the numbers, I'm like, they're talking, like I don't know the official one, they're talking about like 100 mil.
Oh, damn.
Like, They're talking about these insane numbers. Like I'm gonna be like, don't take that. I'm not gonna tell another man not to take that type of check, especially for something like that. It's not on your official record. It's an exhibition. I'm not gonna lie here and act like I'm not gonna say yes to 100 million or something like that. But I do see exactly what you're saying about the essence of boxing. I wish they would kind of separate a little more, because exhibitions have always been a thing. There's always been an argument.
Right.
But they're just selling it like a real fight almost.
Right.
So I think that maybe if we could create a better like distinction, the more of a difference,
Right.
there might be less hate on it. But at the end of the day, man, I'm not gonna tell Tank not to take that fight.
And I said this last year. I said create a influencer title. And let those guys fight over there in the influencer world. They can live the world and the life of I'm a world champion without having to do something like this. Now, the issue for this that I have is you have a legitimate 135-pound champion fighter getting in the ring with a 190-pound guy, whatever it is that Jake Paul is at. So now we already let's really answer this thing.
On the other hand, many people think that this discrepancy turns the fight into more of a show than a real, fair, or competitive boxing bout, even with all the hoopla. It appears that even promoters are recognizing this. Because of those risks, special safety regulations are being implemented, such as a 195-pound catch weight, the usage of larger gloves, and treating the match as an exhibition. For them, the fact that Gervonta has faced world-class fighters is more important than weight. They envision Davis darting in, throwing crisp punches, and making Jake appear awkward despite the size difference, even though Jake's resume is based on his lack of experience.
Got it. My question is, what's the rules? And like, are they gonna actually try and knock each other out? Because it's gonna be a glorified sparring match. I'm not watching, dude. I don't give a fuck.
Jake's gonna have a hard time hitting him.
Yeah,
You know,
big time. Gervonta's so fast
and
and skilled.
Gervonta's gonna eat his.
I thought
guts.
Jake was gonna fight Anthony Joshua. That seemed.
No, that was actually getting.
That is
sounded
the
more
craziest idea I've ever
Yeah.
heard. Jake Paul trying to fight Anthony Joshua is, crazy.
not a sanctioned professional bout. This means the fight will not count towards either fighter's professional records.
So it's still being finalized.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like
So
that.
what is so behind the scenes? You think there are things like, hey, we
Yes.
don't punch
Yeah.
each other in the jaw?
Yep. Or don't go. We can punch in the face, but don't go for throat. Like, don't knock me out.
Really?
Yeah. It's an exhibition.
That's
so
not
they can
very
get away
interesting
with
to
it.
me.
No. Until I find the rule sets, but when I hear exhibition, I'm like, okay.
Jake is bodied up, man.
He's big.
Yeah,
Probably has 100 pounds on Gervonta.
maybe. I'd say Gervonta probably walks at 150.
Oh, he's so small.
He's so small. I mean, he's really small. Bring up Gervonta Davis next to Floyd Mayweather, because I've seen Floyd in person, and he's tiny. How you've seen Floyd in person?
I worked with Gervonta and Floyd.
Tiny.
Well, Floyd
dude.
likely has shoes on
Oh,
there.
dude, he's so small.
He's tiny, guys.
Yeah. I mean, he's so small. Wow. Great fight.
In a recent statement, Chael Sonnen called Jake Paul's choice to switch his attention from Anthony Joshua to a bout with Gervonta Tank Davis disappointing. Tank isn't inherently good at marketing fights or creating anticipation, Sonnen claimed, unlike Paul. Although he lacks the commercial instincts that Paul has developed over the years, he lets his fist do the talking inside the ring. Sonnen admits Tank's indisputable fighting prowess and legitimacy, but he feels the event wouldn't have the same impact if Paul hadn't been able to create storylines and media interest. Sonnen believes that rather than just the fight between two combatants, the attraction of the event primarily rests on Paul's marketing apparatus.
It is the exact opposite of Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul for two. So the fight that was being dangled and rumored in front of us, the exact opposite is happening. The opposite of fighting Anthony Joshua is not fighting nobody. The opposite of fighting Anthony Joshua is fighting Tank Davis. Okay. So there's one big glaring issue for me. It's just your partner being Tank Davis. Tank is not the guy that knows how to sell a fight. Tank cannot sell a fight in his own division. It could be a title fight, a contenders fight, a main event fight. He could be the favorite, he could be the underdog. Tank doesn't know how to bring that information to you guys in a way that is compelling. And Tank is already blinking in this situation. You have one guy who is argued amongst the pound for pound current greats in boxing. You have another guy that has suggested he should not even be allowed to box, that he should have to call it something different. He should not be licensed. He should not be ranked in the top 14. He should never be selected for a world title. Okay. Now, Tank has one job to do, which is to let anybody know that's listening that it doesn't make any difference, that boxing is a real sport.
Davis's opinion of Jake Paul, meantime, has obviously changed. At first, Davis treated Paul like a fool in the boxing world and publicly mocked his allegations, dismissing him as nothing more than a loud, attention-seeking spectacle. Davis gradually changed as Paul gained legitimacy and started to take training more seriously. Since then, he has praised Paul's dedication in the gym, work ethic, and mental toughness. Davis has recently seemed receptive to the prospect of a bout with Paul, even though he still doesn't think he's top-tier boxing material. Paul's ability to attract attention in public.
Clown. He's a clown. I know that Jake can't fight. He can't fight. So
would you look at it as a joke if your team was like, yo, I want you to fight Jake Paul? Would you be like, come
yeah,
on, man?
I laugh at him. You want me to fight him? At first, I didn't like how Jake Paul was coming because of how he was making it look. But now that I see that, I feel as though he's still a clown because that's his personality. I'm starting to respect it because he's not doing it like for the hype. He was really like trying to be a boxer. I think that he's decent.
Yeah.
Like he's good. I mean, he's not good, but he's going that way.
Is he better than you thought he'd be?
Yeah. Gotta be mentally tough to be in the box. So that's why I don't take that away from some fighters or some people that want to jump into the sport. So just show how tough you are. That's how it should be.
Particularly following Jake Paul's resounding victory over Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., his level of respect in the boxing community has significantly increased. Massive commercial traction was indicated by the Anaheim event, which broke the venue's gate revenue record and eclipsed concerts featuring elite fighters. Paul is now seen by prestigious individuals like Oscar de la Hoya as being serious about boxing, implying that he could actually compete for world titles. Even Manny Pacquiao agreed that Paul's commitment cannot be disregarded, notwithstanding any residual skepticism. Analysts praised his ability to keep composure in a tough situation and dominate the ring, which further enhanced his technical credibility.
Alvarez fought Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. We promoted that fight many years ago. Didn't knock him out, couldn't hurt him. So imagine if Jake Paul can hurt or even wobble Chavez Jr. It's something that Canelo didn't do or couldn't do. So Jake Paul, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., it's a real fight. Look, people keep talking about Jake Paul, well, he's not a real fighter, this and that. Well, he's fighting a real fighter now in Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. It's going to be a good test for both guys. Obviously, Jake Paul, he's a masterclass promoter in what he does. He's been doing some great things. I mean, Mike Tyson, 60 million people. Fighting Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., who, when he trains, when he gets in shape, when he's focused, he will be dangerous for anybody. Look, Canelo Alvarez fought Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. We promoted that fight many years ago. Didn't knock him out, couldn't hurt him. So imagine if Jake Paul can hurt or even wobble Chavez Jr. It's something that Canelo didn't do or couldn't do. So there's a lot of stories to come out from this, a lot of great stories for Jake Paul. So I just feel honored and proud that we can team up with MVP Promotions, with Jake Paul, and we can make Zurdo Ramirez with Torticos the mandatory. That's going to be a bloodbath in itself, so we're excited.
According to Jake Paul's official announcement, his second chapter in boxing is just getting started, and this time he's going after actual boxers from all over the globe. Paul said after fighting Andre August that he is now concentrating on the traditional boxing method, aiming directly at true pro fighters, and is moving away from crossover or MMA opponents. In a CNN interview, he stepped up his game, saying he intends to fight everyone, especially the biggest, most difficult fights where he is the underdog and can prove himself in the ring. This determination is evident in his interviews and public appearances. By taking on respectable opponents to demonstrate that he belongs in the top tier of the sport, Paul hopes to transcend theatrics and genuinely create a boxing legacy.
Everybody's been calling you out. Daniel Dubois, Ryan Garcia, all these people. Who's the most enticing to you?
I don't know, like, I want to fight them all, to be honest. I just need the time. So I probably will literally fight all of them. So they're all enticing to me.
Critics contend that Jake Paul's popularity in boxing has been fueled by a lack of respect for competitors from earlier generations, as well as promotion. They contend that he compromises the sport's legitimacy by luring retiring legends back into the ring with the prospect of large payouts. After years away, even legends like Mike Tyson have been enticed to return, which thrills fans but also poses serious safety issues.
No way in hell this fight was ever gonna happen. And the fact that y'all believed it, I don't know, you're stupid. So Rick Thompson, chairman of the Georgia Athletic Commission, told USA Today Sports that Paul's promotion company withdrew its request for permits and a rule waiver, citing the 65-pound weight difference between the fighters. The Rick Thompson guy straight up said they've been promoting something they should not have been. Come on, guys, like, use your brains. Y'all boxing fans, you understand this. This fight was never gonna happen. This is the article from USA Today. It says the status of the proposed fight between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis under scrutiny because of the weight discrepancy between the two fighters. Rick Thompson is coming out and saying this stuff because he said he believes it's in the public's best interest to know that they've been promoting something they should not have been. Communications director for the Office of the Secretary of State told USA Today Sports the event will not be happening. But funny enough, tickets are still available. You can still purchase them online, and the fight is still listed on the State Farm Arena event.
The Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis match ultimately highlights how hazy the distinction between entertainment and sports has become. While some perceive it as a mismatch, others see it as a high-stakes business decision that provides both men with new platforms, visibility, and large payouts. This fight will always be surrounded by discussions about validity, the weight difference, changing venues, and promotional power moves. The true tale, however, may lie in how these two very different fighters deal with the pressure, perception, and consequences on fight night, according to insiders, fans, and critics alike. The effects will endure whether it is regarded as a circus or a watershed in crossover boxing.
What are your thoughts?
Is this conflict too unfair to be respected, or does it make sense? Leave a comment with your thoughts.